Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Narani Farhana binti Muhammad Saidi. My matric number is A22A0206. I'm going to explain the introduction first. Statistics is a discipline that involves working with data to understand patterns and relationships. It includes collecting, organizing, analyzing, interpreting, and presenting data. Statistics is used in various fields like economy, social science, business, medicine, and engineering to attract valuable insight, make prediction, test ideas, and draw meaningful conclusions. There are two main branches: descriptive statistics, which summarize and present data using measures like average and graph, and inferential statistics, which make prediction and draw conclusion about population based on sample data using techniques like hypothesis testing and regression analysis. Statistics is crucial for decision making, research, and understanding complex phenomena, as it helps researchers and analysts identify patterns, uncover hidden relationships, and make data-driven decisions. Next, I'm going to explain about the data description. Data is a collection of information that is connected to each other. It's usually organized in a structured way and stored in a database or file. A dataset is a specific group of data that contains individual records or observations, where each record represents a distinct piece of information. In our assignment, we have a dataset that includes the price of fish captured at different places. This dataset consists of 160 observations or instances of fish prices. To simplify our analysis, we randomly selected 60 cases from this dataset. We choose the cases based on the lowest metric number among our group members.
3.1 Measure of central tendencies under 3.0 Numerical descriptive measure. A measure of central tendency is a single value that attempts to describe a set of data by identifying the central position within that set of data. They are the most used measure of the tendency for ungrouped data that are mean, median, and mode. For mean, the mean is the sum of the value of each observation in a data set divided by the number of observations. The mean is the average of a data set, and it is also known as the arithmetic average. The mean of the price is about 116, while the mean of the weight is about 121.1. For median, the median is defined as the value that lies in the middle of the data when the data set is ordered or has been rearranged. The solution now show that median for the price is 75.5, while the solution showed that median for the weight is 100.83. Next, for the mode. The mode means the data entry that occur with greatest frequency. The highest price is 46.64 and the highest weight is 83.5. 3.2 Measure of position. A measure of position gives a range where a certain percentage of data falls. There are several measurements for the position, which include quartile, percentiles, and standard scores. The first and third quartiles of price are 36.71 and 160.5 respectively. So the interquartile range for price is 123.79, while the first and third quartiles for weight are 50.64 and 147.38 respectively. So the interquartile range for weight is 94.74. 3.3 Measure of vibration. A measure of central tendency is some parameters that attempt to describe the amount of variation between random variables. The three parameters that are used commonly to quantitate the amount of variation in a set of random variables are 1. Range, 2. Variance, and 3. Standard deviation. The maximum data entry for the random variable of price is 481.2, while the minimum data entry is 1. Therefore, the range of the random variable of price is 480.2, while the maximum data entry for the random variable of weight is 510, while the minimum data entry is 0. Therefore, the range of the random variable of weight is 510. For the variance, we got the sample variance for the price is 114,950.32, while the sample variance for the weight is 189,815.65. Therefore, the sample standard deviation for the price is 339.04, while the sample standard deviation for the weight is 435.68. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Norifa Afrina binti Zainal Abidin and my matric number is A22A0225. I will present about 4.0, which is graphical representation. A graph is described as a chart with statistical data in mathematics. These data are represented by curves on lines that are drawn across the coordinate points plotted on the surface of the chart. It is useful to assess how a variable amount changes in relation to another variable over the course of a specific amount of time when examining the relationship between two variables. Studying the frequency distribution and series distribution for a particular issue is beneficial. 4.1. From the bar graph above, we could see that the midpoint in the graph is labeled on the x-axis while frequency is labeled on the y-axis. The graph starts at the first class, which is 35.5, where the frequency is 29, and ends with the last class on 455.5, where the frequency is 2. Hence, it can be concluded that the highest price of each fish is 35.5, as it is the highest frequency compared to the other classes. 4.2. Based on the graph above, we could figure out that on a cumulative frequency of 0, where the graph starts at negative 0.5, the graph then ends at 531.5, where the frequency is 60. With this, we could conclude that the highest weight is about 150, where the frequency is 24.
Next slide is 5.0 statistical analysis using software. First of all, we are using Microsoft Excel, the basic feature of all spreadsheet, using a grid of cells, arrange numbered rows and letter name columns to organize data manipulation like arithmetic operations that use tables to record and analyze numerical and statistical data with a formula and functions. After that, we're using a SPSS, that is a statistical package for social science. It's a software program used by a researcher in a various disciplines for quantitative analysis of complex data that provide data analysis for descriptive statistics, numerical outcome prediction, and group identification. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hilary Wongdali and my matrix number is A22A0635. Today, I will be presenting about 5.1 and 5.2. In 5.1, the numerical descriptive measures part, we will be using both the SPSS system and manually calculate all the data. Firstly, the mean for the price group based on the SPSS system is 110.4353, while the manual calculation shows that it is 160. Both calculations have shown a difference of 5.5647. Next, the median for the price group has a difference of 4.87, in which the SPSS system calculated a median of 70.6300, while the manual calculation shows that it is 75.5. The mode for the price group was 1.70 and 46.64, which makes a difference of 44.94. The SPSS calculation shows that the standard deviation is 109.81098, and the manual calculation is 339.04. This had shown a big difference of 229.22902. Other than that, the variance on the SPSS system is 12058.451, which is 102,891.869 different from the manual calculation. The minimum and maximum values calculated by both the SPSS system and manual calculation had shown the same numbers, which are 1.70 and 481.20. Lastly, the answers of percentiles for quartile 1 is 28.1250 and for quartile 3 is 168.7325. And this was calculated by using the SPSS system, while the manual calculation shows that it is 36.71 for quartile 1 and 160.5 for quartile 3. Next, I will be presenting about 5.2, the hypothesis testing. In this part, we will be using an independent sample with ANOVA to measure the hypothesis in order to prove that it is reasonable and should not be rejected or otherwise rejected. In hypothesis testing, the ones that will be presented first will be the alternative hypothesis, which is the HA, and the null hypothesis, which is HO. The theories will be stated as the price, weight, height, length 1, 2, and 3, and it do not significantly differ from one another in terms of the means for the null hypothesis. While for the alternative hypothesis, it is significantly differs from one other in terms of the means. The proportion between the group to within group variability will be measured by the F value. A greater mean between all the variables will be indicated by a bigger F value, which is 292.307. In the next step, we will be using alpha equals to 0.05, in which the level of significance will be the F value is greater than the F alpha. Variance 1, variance 2 equals to F 0.05, 6, and 53. Lastly, the decision that we had is the F value is greater than the proportion. To be exact, the F value is 292.31, which is greater than 2.286. In conclusion, we will need to reject the null hypothesis, which is HO, since our p-value is 0.01, which is smaller than the alpha 0.05. As our critical region is F 0.05, 653, hence the null hypothesis is rejected. This implies that the alternative hypothesis is significantly supported by our observed data. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lee Xing Ci and my matrix number is A22A0762. Now I will present 5.3, which is correlation analysis. Correlation analysis is a topic that few people may recall from statistics classes in school, but most inside professionals will be familiar with it as a cornerstone of data analysis. This diagram is show correlation coefficient. Besides that, we have two variables, which is price and weight. The value of percent correlation between price is 1.000 and price and weight is 0.981. Weight and price is 0.981 and weight is 1.000. It shows strong positive correlation between price and weight of fish. N equals 60 fish and is one Taylor significant. P equals 0.000. Next, I will present 5.4, which is called confidence interval. We collect the result of the 95% confidence interval for a year. The lower boundaries is negative 50.474 and the upper boundary is 16.732. The standard error of this dependent is 0.096. It can be said that 95% are confident that the population parameter is between negative 50.474 and 0.443. That's all. Thank you.
My name is Lazaino binti Fauzi. My matric number A22A0616. Lastly, conclusion. We use a data set of a price of fish captured at several places with 160 observation sample to make this report a success. Set B has data category that includes species, price, location, and weight. We have used the SPSS application. We found that the values are different between the manually calculate and the SPSS system. The distribution shape may be classified into two with symmetric and non-symmetric since SPSS is enabled to read the data accurately. The mean, median, and mode produce varying results. Emphasize the use of graph to think about model and pattern.